Well, all right. So I am alive, and I'm just going to do this show a little bit as a response to Chaotic. I want to thank Chaotic. He had me call himself Chaotic Truth or CT, but I want to thank him for giving me an award, and I guess he wanted to uh, uh, give me some money or whatever. But I'm going to play a quick song, and then I'm going to. More of a I don't know if it's necessarily a reaction, but just to talk about the episode in general and the fanatics that are on that show. And I've dealt with those people myself and the proneness to anger and other things. Here's a song. I guess I wrote another song about chaotic. This is called A Hill Called Reality. Here we go.
There's a man named Chaotic Truth, speaks his words just like a youth. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, on a hill they stand and thump. Called and slam like sorry folks, but the words ain't no joke. Standing high on reality, truth and dreams in harmony. On a hill called reality, speaking out with clarity. Elon Musk and chaotic truth, the truth they shake the booth. As that open they proclaim, nothing here is just a game. Voices loud against the lies, underneath the open skies. On the hill called reality, speaking out with clarity. Elon Musk and chaotic truth, the trunk they shake the roof. They proclaim, nothing here is just a game. Voices loud against the lies, underneath the open skies. On the hill called reality, speaking out with clarity. Elon Musk and chaotic truth, with Trump they shake the booth. No more hiding in the dark, they ignite the truth with spark. Controversy as their flame, standing firm they stake their claim. On the hill called reality, speaking out with clarity. Elon Musk and chaotic truth, they shake the booth.
All right, so we are live on Transparency and Merit, also on Inflammatory Talk and my X channels. You know what? I'm going to bring on JP. I don't know if he wants to come along and say anything. I also see Angel in the house, and I'll also invite him if he wants. I think I'll put a link in the chat board. See if Angel wants to come around. He can be
come on by. Yeah, stop on by. How's it going? It's I'm actually not at my computer, but can you hear me okay? Yeah. Am I coming in?
Yeah, you're coming in good. If Angel wants to come in, he's welcome to. I hope he doesn't use some of his saltier language. But I want to say I titled the show Chaotic Truth, Fanaticism, and a Propensity for Anger. And, well, thank you, Chaotic, as well. I don't know if anyone got the, if they got the StreamYard link, if that link is effective or not.
I hear that you were on Chaotic Truth show recently, tonight even?
I was on Chaotic Truth Live, and he has a great show. And there are times, like anytime you have an open panel show, you do run the chance of having different types of characters come on and basically act in certain ways. There are two. Well, there are three individuals. Two I was going to talk about, but since Angel's here, I might like bring him up. He is. I guess he says I'm a native autistic. Now what? But he goes. He's Angel, but he's I guess a Native American and an autistic person, and he often will use very inflammatory language like the N-word quite often. And there's a person named Linwood who comes on, and he is, I wouldn't say necessarily he's a pro-black. He is a person who's read a person by the name of Neely Fuller Jr. And he goes by his anti-racism book like it is a Bible. I've only kind of skimmed through it off and on, but for the most part, it seems like just a big blame book, and I don't think it's necessarily a healthy way to succeed in life. It's actually a book, in my opinion, for losers, because it takes away personal and a lot of times it takes away personal responsibility. Now, there is the truth of the conquest ethic that is in everyone, and competition is in everyone. But at the end of the day, it's your fault. When you lose, you should point the finger at nobody but yourself, for the most part. I mean, there are times when you get the rug pulled out from under you.
Well, isn't that I haven't felt well for the last few days, so I'm just kind of getting my head back. But isn't that explaining self-governance? Isn't that just what we've taken away from people by patting them on the back every time they fell, or picked them up every time they fell down, patted them on the back every time they lost, or what, you know what I'm saying? Like we have led this charge for now. I think maybe your like you had a little bit less than me, only because we're a couple years different. But then you noticed it real quick, maybe like with the millennials. So it was pretty significant, but it was happening already. Helicopter parenting was happening, and I think this is a byproduct of at least a generation of that helicopter parenting. And
I don't think that that people who read Neely Fuller are necessarily a product of the type of helicopter parenting is much more of a white and Asian thing. But the victim mentality and the thought that the whole society and world is up against you, and that everything that happens is a result of, or most bad things that happen is a result of white supremacy. And that's Neely Fuller kind of believes in a power dynamic. And they say he never read Marxism, but it feels like, to a degree, a Marxist sort of theory, where it's before it was the elite, the working class, and the elites, but every person of color is part of I believe the structural racism. And to me, what I gather, it really is a thing for losers. It's a loser mindset, and it glorifies victimhood, and everything is about the resistance of this so-called white supremacy. Joey, is there anything you want to add? Because I have been bloviating for a while, and I want to get some of your opinion on this. And also, there was another person called Imperious, and he is, I don't want to necessarily say he is a Catholic supremacist, but he is a very angry person. And it's almost like he is a crusader for the Catholic faith, and he wants to bring about a worldwide Catholic nation. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I gather for him. And he is extraordinarily forceful. He doesn't have a lot of objectivity, or it doesn't feel like he has a lot of objectivity. Both. God, I can't. Imperious and the other gentleman, I can't even. Linwood, to a degree, are both fanatics in their own way. Joey, have you dealt with fanatics before? And how do you contend with a fanatical mindset?
I can't. I just don't have the patience anymore. I think there was a time when I could deal with it a little bit. So, but yeah, I've dealt with that plenty, and I've seen it, and it's a sinking ship. And at this point, to be honest, I see a lot of those people looking more and more like cult leaders, and they're trying to pinch off a sinking ship. Go ahead, have at it. Nobody cares. Go get your grants. Go start your churches. Do whatever you want, but we are done with the age of belief. We've moved on. That was the age of belief is now become an age of knowledge, because we have knowledge. We have the eyes to see a lot deeper and with a lot more meaning, and and I think that people now, I think that the people who have controlled things via paperwork have a lot of hell to pay, a lot, and to want to get into that game now at this stage is straight just pinching off a sinking ship.
I want to get into. Oh, yeah. Post. Okay. I thought someone was asking to post a like. I want to get into Neely Fuller and the victim mindset.
Post the link.
Oh, did someone want a link? No, they didn't say link. They said like. I'll post a link in the chat room if anyone wants to come in on this and have a conversation. Hopefully, we can have a more intellectual. I'll post a link again if anyone wants to. I don't know, and I don't know if the link works in here. By the way.
Yeah, it might. I don't know.
Yeah, but I posted a link if anyone wants to go in.
I saw a movie yesterday with Wilford Brimley in it. I thought of that.
Oh, yeah. Diabetes. Yeah, go ahead.
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, but I just wanted to add that Neely Fuller's philosophy, Fuller works especially in the United Independent Compensatory Code System. The concept emphasizes that victims of racism, which he equates with white supremacy, should focus their energy on understanding and combating this system. This system could be interpreted as promoting a victimhood mindset where there's an identity and action, and they are predominantly shaped by the status of the systematic victim of racism, whatever that means. And it's an exclusive truth. His assertion that all problems stem from racism could, it's an exclusive truth. And there are people who, this person Linwood is totally committed to his view of victimhood of racism. He is dedicated to combating this belief. And again, him and Imperius regarding Catholicism and the belief that Catholicism is the best way for life, and Linwood believing that Neely Fuller's basically his I can't even say the goddamn word, compensatory.
Well, I would argue that none of these people are living a life that resembles Jesus or anybody in the Bible, for that matter. So, whatever they want to call it, it's sick, it's demented, it's outdated, it's not going to work, and maybe in the short run, it will get earn them, their material.
I would love to see a debate between you and Imperius. This man
I would tell him that, and I'd like to hear his side of things, because it's failing. And I've seen, and these are the kind of hyperbolic people I've dealt with, in recent years. So, yeah.
And I mean, I have I'm looking, bear with me, folks. I'm just asking Gork some things. Grok. They call it Grok. Now, Fuller's work is also deeply rooted in the critique of racism, specifically what he terms as white supremacy. His, what do you call it? Oh, man. Compensatory code is designed to offer a systematic approach for non-white individuals to combat racism effectively. And again, it's about total education.
So
total dedication. It is about these people are totally dedication. In many ways, they are brainwashed. And, I told this to CT, I believe it was yesterday. Now it's considered yesterday where he lives. But I told him that, this is a religious faith to a lot of these people. And
at this point, they may as well just write a new Bible.
They should. They could, they could put all their characters in there. Maybe Imperius can help them out with that new Bible. Although I would say that Imperius is a fanatic himself.
Yeah, probably, and those people tend to be militant fathers, and I'm not going to get too judgmental here, but I've seen a lot of kooky stuff, and things get real kooky in a situation where people are giving their Hail Marys to somebody because they are the chosen one for that particular grant. And I do mean particular. If you know the meaning of particular, that particular is one of the most infuriating words, and it is a key word to me when I hear particular, because it simply means to cut and to divide, and it's used with such frequency, and it's used a lot in those in their rhetoric. I've heard it a lot. So there's
Now,
certain ones to listen for, and you start to key into, and you start to learn where the true war really is.
I just read what the word imperious means. Arrogantly domineering or overbearing is one of the adjectives. Urgent and pressing, regal and imperial. Imperious course and J.K. Rowling. Okay, the term has been used historically to denote supreme power of authority, particularly in the context of Roman law and governance. It might be used to discuss the concept of sovereignty, the right to command or extent of rule of a ruler's power. So,
and yeah, so those words are very intertwined.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of.
And even when we look at the definition of the word war, and what is war? It's a battle or competition over a particular end. Particular end. What end? What was cut? Where's the war? Because war's not like what we've seen on TV and in movies. The war, that's just a depiction of what war looks like to propagandists and people who want you to have a vision of something, much like for the same reason that I don't like 2001: A Space Odyssey, because of the programming and the indoctrination of and in the name of government and entertainment intertwined over a you know, basically to keep people's minds filled with an idea of what space is, and I'm not buying any of it anymore. But that's a whole that's a whole nother direction.
Joey, do you believe that free will, that free will doesn't exist? Joey?
I would like to think that it does. I don't think that it's all predetermined. I think if you if you do buy into a narrative, and you do believe in stories your whole life, then sure, an outcome can maybe be fated for you. If you buy into enough of it, I've seen people walk in the same traps over and over again.
Because I've heard, like, neuroscience, some neuroscientist studies suggest that the brain activity can predict decisions before we are consciously aware of them, which might challenge the traditional notion of free will. I mean, we cannot, can we really will ourselves to starve? Can we? It's even hard to delete yourself. So, and that, our biological desires are there regardless of whether we strive to will ourselves or not. I mean, I fasted for 5 days, and after the fifth day, I was almost determined to eat. Now, CT had a person on a show that fasted for 21 days. I don't know how they did it, but I'd like to kind of give that a try. But yeah, I mean, there are things that about discipline and stuff that I'd like to learn and become better. But I don't know, like if we can will ourselves to do things against our own nature.
It also helps to know the meaning of these words and how.
You broke up, Joey. Joey?
Yep. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah, look up the etymology if you can now. Look at if you can pull up etymologyonline.com and look up liberty and how that what that means and where that word comes from and how it was used in its earliest form, and you start to see because people don't seem to value what's important anymore, and I think they would rather because beliefs just shackle the mind with a bunch of gobbledygook, a bunch of stories. And if you want to live in a story your whole life, then you will get willed into a way of life. Others will do the thinking for you because everyone's just playing a role in a fiction.
Now, the modern usage today, liberty has expanded to include various freedoms like freedom of speech, religion, and assembly, as well as economic and personal freedoms. It's a cornerstone in discussion about democracy, human rights, and political philosophy. Liberty in philosophy, philosophers like John Locke and others have expanded on the idea of liberty, discussing it in terms of natural rights, social constructs, and the harm principle, respectively. So, oops. So liberty, basically, it oh, my water.
And a lot of people don't know. Most of us don't know what it truly means to be free, as we've all been within a system of belief and a certain structure for generations, and I think that it's lost on the current set of people. Within 5 generations, I'd say five generations at most, you've seen a complete dismantling of a world that understood the meaning of freedom and liberty a lot more than we have any clue of, maybe, depending on what history you decide to believe. It's all just such a sham. I mean, just give me a break. These people don't deserve the grants. They don't deserve to be starting churches and getting their communities wrapped up in this nonsense. It's completely bonkers, and I would defend this position, I think, at great length.
You know what? I think
the zombie minds and the people that have had their own thinking just so distorted. It's just I can't look at it. I have a tough time working in that environment. And I used to work in that environment because I used to have the patience for it, and I had the negotiation skills to do it. And now I'm just like, no, stop it. Get off of me.
You know something? I used to have views on self-defense and masculinity that I have recently changed, just because I now know what it is like to be under people who don't have those same principles. And before I had a view on man-to-man fighting and decency, but the left doesn't believe in any of that. And my opinion, if you're going to be a bitch to me, I'm going to be a bitch right back to you, and I don't owe you any honorability or nobility. And I think that the right has to be bitchy. It has to lawfare, boycotts, call their employers, all the shit that they do to others, you got to do to them. If you're going to do something nasty and foul to me, guess what? I'm going to do something nasty and foul to you. And Joey, with that being said, is there anything else you want to add before?
I'd like to know more about what this person talks about and how they defend their ideas and and what it is, what kind of nation that they would like to start. Is it any different from the Nation of Islam or any of these ridiculous churches? Or I mean, what does he want? It's starting to annoy me because it's so frustrating, and these people online most people have no clue, and I have firsthand experience with this. God, it's so frustrating.
Joey, I think I'll send you a link.
Yes.
Chaotic show.
Yes.
There's a person by the name of Imperious.
Okay.
And this guy says, is this comedy or is this serious? It's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B.
If you've got to ask that question, just pound yourself in the face 10 times. Do it now.
Meow, meow. Joey.
No. Chairman, meow, 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 meow.
All right. My thing is,
I'm sick of dummies who you see, people don't even know what's humor anymore. They don't even know what's funny or serious. They're so twisted.
It can be both, Joey. It can be funny, and it can be, you can gain something.
By laughter, through laughter.
Man, sure. Where are you? Boo.
There can accords can be met, and ideas can be shared through comedy and different forms of whatever arts and all that. But if you're seriously asking that, then just get a life. Take your head out of your.
Now, who's this guy? Trip Bayless. Do you know this man? Because he says, Joey, you're not funny, Joey.
Trip Bayless. Wow.
What does that even mean? I might have to grok. I might have to grok that.
Just grok it.
Grok it. I don't even know if it.
Remember Gork? Gork was
Gork it like it's hard.
Yeah. Wham. People need an outline now. Whether use your brains, people.
Ooh.
Use them while you still can.
Okay, it seems there might be a typo or confusion in your query. If you're referring to Skip Bayless, here's a brief overview. Okay, there was a guy named Skip Bayless.
Yeah, I thought that was referring to Skip Bayless, but
is that who we're referring to? Skip Bayless left. Host is of Undisputed 8 years ago. His departure. Okay. Well, again, Imperious. This gentleman by the name of Imperious is a I wouldn't even call him a Catholic nationalist. I think he wants the whole world under the Catholic faith, and you submit to the Catholic faith. If he had, listen, Joey, if this man had the rule, you know, and he believes that, you know.
Well, I would ask him some simple questions, and he would not be able to answer them. And I would establish that within the first 3 minutes of talking with him, and he'd be cooked. And the rest of the time, he would just be frazzled and just completely. I mean, it's ridiculous. These people don't know what it means. They don't understand it. If they're still pushing that,
Joey,
they don't know what it means.
This guy would try to put you in a verbal arm bar, and
he would lose. I'd put him in a can of beans, and then I'd fart on him.
You might try. This man, I mean, I'm going to put Chaotic's Truth show, like I'm just going to post it on my page, so people who haven't listened to it can listen to it. But it has some interesting characters on there. I'm one of them. I don't know if I'm that interesting, but you know, Skippy Bayless. I don't know if Skippy Bayless thinks I'm funny at all, but and then there's Political Woodstock, JPPPP, JPP.
She's always in left field.
Yes.
You know, fly balls to deep right field. She's in left field.
And finally, yes, Political Woodstock comes out of the place in the, what was it, the Deep West, Oklahoma, out there, and in Funnyville. Joey, is there anything to add before, you know, I did put a link in. I'll put a link in again if anyone wants to come up, if anyone can come up. But if nobody else comes up, Joey and I are doing this solo show. Wait, oops. I'll put a link in.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they show up or not, but
in this chat room, no.
It makes things better, and it's why I appreciate the show that you go on. I'm forgetting the name because I'm really haven't participated.
Oh, you know what?
But like I appreciate that's quite an ability to hold people's attention and to really to get them involved. That is important, and that's a very awesome. It's an incredible skill to possess, I think.
All right. So I have put the link out there, Joey. If anyone, and this is some more here. Here we go. And this is just fucking sad. You pussies keep talking to each other like someone is listening. Why is this shitty channel on my feed? Well, get it off your feed if you don't want our food. Go to a different restaurant.
It belongs on your feed, and you should be here more often. You should be explaining yourself a little bit better instead of being a little baby.
Why are you calling me a wimp? What is this foolishness? Why am I a wimp? For God's sake!
This guy's a coward on the face of it. Just stop being a coward. Come on the show. We have a link. Come on the show.
I think can people click on the link? I'm gonna Joey bloviate for a minute while I go on my.
You can get that link. Just share that link. Just post it in the chat room.
I shared the link, Joe. I just want to go on my YouTube channel just to see if I can click on the link myself.
I'm just sick of it. I'm not playing along. I'm not being. I don't need to take any side. I don't need to take Brian's side. I don't need to take your side, whoever you are. I have my own view. My government is on my shoulders. Where's your government? It should be upon your shoulders. That's even biblical. But I'm not coming from a place of the Bible. I'm just coming from a place of that's just how it is. That's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter. more people would benefit from learning what that entails on a biological level, philosophical level, you name it. People just have no idea. They're still stuck. And it bothers me to no end that African Americans are so sucked into that world of materialism. Suck it, big dummies. That may sound racist, but it's I'm talking from straight experience and what I see. And it's portrayed and pushed in the media. And they want to be in control of Hollywood? Go ahead, have it. Have that play. You go ahead. If that's not evidence of all this, what is? Man, this stuff pisses me off. I'm sorry if I'm yelling, but suck it if you're upset by that. That's just the way it is. All right, I think I'm going to leave. Now, are we done? Where'd you go, Brian? Brian went home. He took off. But yeah, I mean, I'm more than willing to discuss these matters and to get into it with some people who think they know better, and they're just leading people astray. And I'm not standing by idly. That's just not me. You might find a bunch of pushovers or wherever you're living or wherever you're from, but not here. Not this guy. I'm not going to be that pushover.
Well, Joey, I am back. It started for whatever reason it started to. And like I said, I put the link out if anyone wants to come in, but I don't think anyone wants to come in, Joey. And it is getting rather late.
I think it's a great sign that somebody asked, "Is this a comedy or?" I think that is just such a great. I love it. It's the best question I've seen in our chat room in months. So thank you, you dumbass. Whoever's asked that, thank you. Thank you. You've just validated like 6 months of work for me. Thank you. I really fucking appreciate it. I appreciate you for being that dummy to ask that question.
Well, he just said this is just fucking sad. This is just fucking sad.
You can come in here and explain why, or you could just throw platitudes and be a dummy and sound ignorant, because you do. You sound ignorant right now. You sound ignorant. You can't even talk to Brian, much less me. Eat it.
Well, we do have political Woodstock.
I'm going to clip my toenails and put them in that person's mouth.
Really?
Political Woodstock, how are you?
I'm trying to get my phone to work better.
Well, it seems to be working fairly well now.
Do you have an echo or anything?
No, I don't. It's working fairly well. Maybe the phone works better than because I'm on my computer right now, and maybe the phone works better than the computer does.
Well, I have some sad news.
What's the sad news?
Well, JP's very familiar with the Price Tower, a Frank Lloyd Wright skyscraper.
Why is she talking about me when she? Why would she say hello to you and then start talking about me? What's wrong with you? Do you have a
wrong with
problem?
me if you will listen
do you have
and not interrupt
greeting people normally? Like, hello, hey, Brian.
Yeah, you could buy the Price Tower. You could buy the Price Tower because it's going to auction.
The Price Tower is going to auction. Can you
the Frank Lloyd Wright building?
I'd love to buy a Frank Lloyd Wright building for $10 on an auction. I'd love it.
Well, then you have to assume the $600,000 debt.
Joey,
that part I would not like. Anytime that's a big issue, right?
This just came out today. They really are going to go to auction on it. I think some groups are going to try to stop it
And
because
before
we can't
I forget that,
control
you did remind me of something, Brian.
what.
You and I have we do have outstanding bills to pay, and if we don't pay that bill, we've been threatened with liens. So we do need to.
Are these
And it's
taxes?
nothing. It's nothing that bad. It's not, it's still in the hundreds, the low hundreds. So it's
Are these
not a big deal.
taxes?
What's that?
Are these taxes?
These are taxes. Yes, yes. It's like literally $200 of taxes. But
Okay, we can pay that.
yeah. I mean, people don't realize this. Well, we don't realize this because of where we live. Okay, and where our property taxes are so ridiculous. But like property taxes are fairly like they are sort of well they're high in some. Michigan has pretty high state taxes now. Anyways, yeah. Thank you for reminding me to remind Brian, political Woodstock. Probably the best thing you've ever done for me. Thank you.
Oh, really? Really?
Oh,
Well,
now,
I
is there
watched the DNC tonight. Did you watch any of the speeches tonight?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. The parts that I watch, it just sound like hyperbolic cornball.
Yeah.
And that's on both sides. You know what? To
It
me,
looked like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, if you ask me.
Well, they had a lot of Republicans speaking and an independent, which was Oprah.
Oprah's not independent. Oprah's been a liberal. She's been a covert liberal all her.
But that's what she identifies as.
Is she identifies, which she identifies. The same. Don Lemon identifies the same way. Both people are deeply culturally captured leftists. Period. I don't want to get upset.
There was Republicans speaking that wanted Republicans to vote for Harris. It was interesting. I've never seen anything like that at a DNC.
The problem is they don't. They are giving into the left. Kamala Harris.
The left is not evil.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
no, they're not.
They believe themselves to be good.
You prove it. You prove it.
Well, do you think Marxism is evil?
Do I think Marxism? It's not a good system.
Do you think that certain beliefs that Kamala Harris has are like her father's?
Not knowing every belief system of her father, that's hard for me to answer. But the next time I speak to you, I'll have an answer.
Well, we are like it or not, we are products of our environment. And I think that Kamala is rather dishonest about, she was at civil rights marches and things like that. And again, she believes in things like restorative justice, and it's negative. And she is. I think she is a far leftist, and Marxists are liars by
calling her a Marxist without any proof. So I reject what you're saying.
I think Angela is a Marxist on the down low. Wow.
Where's your proof?
I have no proof, actually. I hope I'm wrong.
No. I don't believe that.
I don't think that's true. I wasn't joking the rest of this show. I've been straight almost with everything I have. In case you need for the people out there keeping score, I guess, or need to know. Yeah, I mean, I don't go on the podcast with Brian so I could always just yell at people and straight shoot things. And no, I love humor. I'm like, are you crazy? I like that.
I want to say Marxists have been lying and being covert since, primarily since the late 1950s. and they scoff at communism and things like that. So they don't say that up front, and they started calling themselves progressives. But if you listen to the things that she says and some of the things that she wants to implement, I think a lot of it is far leftist, far leftist, and they don't want to, they don't want to be that upfront about it. So Marxists by nature lie.
Everybody lies.
That's true.
I mean, are you pure? Do you not lie?
No, I have my hidden. I'm no different.
I have lied, of course. I'm like everybody else.
That's
I can't, and I grew up in a family of liars, and I heard it my whole life, and I tried to fight it, and I still did it, and the whole thing. Yeah, of course.
Well, I think looking for that far left boogeyman is eating up a lot of your time, Brian. I honestly believe that.
If I were running the RNC and I were running commercials, I would have Portland, or the 2020 riots of Portland, Oregon, and I would just say, this is what the establishment left, the legacy media and the legacy media downplay. And I would show the kicking of that young man's head by Keith Love, and then the shooting of the Trump supporter in Portland. And I would say, this is what they downplay. They want to harm you. They want to do harsh things to you. I mean, how do you feel how the DNC treated RFK?
Even the event that happened closest to you, the Jeffrey Dorner case, you were not there. Why would you defend a position based on a potential lie because it's perpetuated through a source, a media source? Why would you even honor that? I think that's everybody's problem here. They're accepting these stories and defending their sides with this bullshit. I'm saying
I was
stop.
just getting ready to say, JT.
I'm saying
using
stop
fear as truth is not a good way to play it. But using those riots from the 2020, now that's a brilliant idea for a commercial. But then you went too far. You're using fear as truth, and that's propaganda.
No, I'm not. I might be a little bit. No, I might be a little bit over the top, but I'm not. Definitely not instilling. I've never been accused of that in my life.
I was talking about Brian.
Oh, then you're straight. Yeah, you're straight. You know.
Let me just say this.
I mean, there's not a far left boogeyman. There's he, she entity does not exist.
I agree.
And I think our culture has us fighting against each other, so we can rarely agree on anything. We can only move forward when we can find points where we can agree on and move forward that way. I think that's reasonable. And I heard of that, a lot of it at the DNC tonight.
To do that, you have to recognize certain flaws in your behavior, and you have to have, what? I think there has to be a comparative analysis between what we call the Summer of Love, the George Floyd riots, and January 6th. Let's put it all out on the table for everyone to see. Let's see who emboldened people and how it all happened. And maybe some people need to hang their head in shame and be humiliated, be debanked, be boycotted, blacklisted, and debanked out of society as they did to others. And let's make things even, Steven. My hope is that 2024 or 2025, if Trump gets into office, what I would like to see is the year of even Steven. You did it to me. Guess what? I'm going to cancel you now. I'm going to blacklist you.
What good does that do? It just causes more incentives to react back. An adult responds, a child reacts.
You hit me first.
Let me finish. What you're describing is reactionary behavior.
You hit me first. You hit me first.
Okay, toddler Brian.
That's human being. You're gonna let me beat? I'm gonna let you beat on me and not respond? No.
You can defend yourself, of course.
I'm either
But
going
I'm
to
talking about reactionary behavior.
Angela.
That's a childish idea of behavior.
Angela,
Adult response.
if someone chooses to harm me, if someone chooses to do me harm by my words, hold on.
Where's one angry Jew? Where's one angry Jew? We need help.
Go ahead.
No, give me a break. Let me just. Can I just?
Bathtub Chronicles.
Okay, I'll listen. I'll be quiet. I'm sorry, Brian. I'll be quiet.
Sorry, I was a little bit upset. But my thing is, if somebody wants me to walk on eggshells and doesn't want to have like a conversation and threatens to do me harm, I'm either going to flee that person or I'm going to resist that person. And my resistance, if I have the power to resist a person who means me harm, it's going to come out in harsh ways, depending on the things that they wish.
And I say, if this election doesn't bring back the Bathtub Chronicles, nothing will.
I missed the Bathtub Chronicles. Those were amazing.
Those were fun.
And then High Ridge Estates says Brian sounds like he wants to seize the means of production. For certain people, I would love for Teamsters and other people to get together to like band together. If people are going to be cruel, we can be cruel right back. Like, Teamsters should stop delivering to certain areas.
The Teamsters are our people, though. The DNC, we have the unions.
We have no. The head of the Teamsters union was at the RNC, and we could band together these Marxists and stuff. We can say, hey, we got the truckers on our side. We don't have to go to certain areas. We can make people hungry. Like, hey, you're going to try to make us hungry. Guess what? We're going to do that to you now. How do you like it?
The RNC may have had a Teamster speaking, but the thrust of all the unions is to stay away from the Republican agenda, because one of their agendas is to tear apart the unions. That doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, first of all, the tradesmen don't like woke. They despise that stuff. They despise the woke left. They think they're weaklings. They think they stink. They suck. And they want nothing to do with them. They despise them. Those are
Brandon Wade. He's running for State House, District 2 from Oklahoma. He is a union representative. He knows how to negotiate contracts. He's a strong union person. And we have many Brandon Wades throughout our whole Democratic culture. So I'm just going to say you don't have the unions, because you really don't.
Well,
why would they go to the RNC when the Republicans want to tear apart the unions so they can have low-cost wages with low-cost benefits? That really doesn't make any sense. Go to the people that are going to put you in a noose and hang you slowly.
That's not the new Republican Party. Anyway.
Oh, really? I watched the RNC. At least you could watch the DNC tomorrow night.
I need it's all January 6th, protecting
democracy. If you're going to fight them, you need to know what it is you're fighting. Kamala Harris will be speaking tomorrow as she accepts the nomination to run for president, and she is going to win.
You know what? It's always possible. I mean, they certainly could win. I mean, the country. Either the country has changed, or they're better achieved. Look at how do you feel the way the DNC has treated RFK, the behavior?
Well, that's more of a complicated issue. He is retiring his campaign officially this Friday, and it sounds like he's going to get his people to swing to the far right to Trump.
Well, that's because the far left has done very sleazy and underhanded things. They're not
a lot of the left hasn't gone to RFK. I did, but RFK really aligns more with Trump.
Well, the The left has gone insane. The left are culturally captured. A lot of them are culturally captured midwits.
Where's the proof? Where's the proof?
Go to any college campus and try to get,
Those are young adults, very young adults, 17 through 21. I mean, come on. They're just trying to find out what they believe and why they believe what they believe.
Go to any, you know what? Go to an HR department and you'll see midwits. You'll see a lot of. I mean, I forget his name.
That's a good term. I'll give you credit for that. But I still don't think you're bringing the proof.
Well, hopefully, we're going to have a walk against the woke and a march against the midwits. And we want a midwit-free zone. Midwits deserve to be out of power. This is a cultural war, not just in America, but throughout the West and throughout the Anglosphere. These people are really pathetic. What's going on in the UK is pathetic. And these people will do the same thing. Angela, how do you feel about the British Patriots and how the British people are being treated?
I think it's an unfair system that they have set up right now. And they're a little bit more harsh on things. Like drunk driving, you lose your license for life if you get caught, when you're drunk.
I'll go a step further and suggest that any country that is a birth certificated country is suffering from the same midwit ideas on the left and the right.
Well, Joey, I support your freedom of speech, and we'll go further into that belief of birth certificates and other things of the like. Because I don't, I disagree, but Joey, I would fight to kill anyone that took away your rights.
You would, and that makes sense. But when you start to really look at the symbolism, and hey, I'll start sharing more information with you than I have. I think it's time to open the floodgates on that. It might be late for tonight, but we'll get into I think the Philosopher's Stone might be a good place for us to start, Brian.
I have a challenge for the both of you.
Yes.
Try to listen. If you can sit through it, I know it might be difficult. Listen to the DNC tomorrow night, the Democrat National Convention. And I want you to give me some points that Kamala says in her speech that make her Marcus. I want you to prove what you said.
I will. I'll go back on that.
It'll take no more than 2 minutes. So sure, whatever.
From my belief is her parents were Marxist, and the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Should we talk about your parents?
Of course,
you called one of them an asshole. Does that make you one?
Yes, but I'm a lot like my old man. You know what?
I don't think you're.
But
I shouldn't have said that word.
Well, the thing of it is, whether we like it or not, we carry some of the characteristics and stuff, and some of the beliefs that you know what? I used to think my father one time told me, like, in a fight, you go to win. He told me one time he was in a fight with a guy. The guy got on top of him, and he was ready to smash his pearly face. And my old man said, I've been smashed before. And he saw his ding-dong there, and he grabbed it as hard as he could, and he twisted and got him off. And you know what? Papa Ross for the win. And I believe in anything, like in a physical confrontation, anything you can do to win that conflict, you do.
I'm talking about an intellectual challenge where you listen to the speech from future Madam President Harris, and tell me what makes her Marxist from her own speech. It take like 2 days to formulate your thoughts.
You know what?
I'm really interested on what you think about that.
Equity and inclusion is power. the power, giving up power is a form of redistribution of wealth. And affirmative action is a form of redistribution of wealth.
Well, people who are repeating the Hillary line that she's used now for years of shattering that glass ceiling, those
Amen.
are believers. Those are people getting grants. That is accepted. That is one of those accepted woke lingoisms or jingoisms or whatever.
Here, I thought it was feminism. But go ahead.
No. It's far more dogmatic than that.
Yeah, and these people are basically they're communal and they're authoritarian.
She's literally talking about going up and smashing the firmament. I mean, that is literally she is. It's disturbing.
Smashing the glass ceiling.
Well, what's wrong with a woman being president?
That's
Because
fine.
it sounds like you're against it.
It's just funny that she chose that particular comment or line of thinking that is straight out of the book of Genesis. It's just shocking, but to me, it's offensive and it's so disturbing.
What's disturbing and offensive about saying what is wrong with a woman president? It is a glass ceiling. It needs to be shattered.
Joey, have you ever been catfished?
No. It is a funny thought, though.
You know what? I was actually, on AOL, someone pretended to be a female, and it was a gay dude. And one of the names that went by was frozen fart liquor. Unbelievable. Can you believe that garbage? That really, by the way, that really angered me, by the way, that someone would actually do that and behave that way to me. I wanted to, and there was another time a gay man, a dude came on to me, a homeless man came on to me, and, I wanted to do him physical harm just because it's like, come on, man. I'm at work, like you're, and I told him I wasn't interested. And then he continued the conversation with me. And I couldn't hurt him because I was at work, but I really wanted to. That was the second time at work where I had a conflict, and it was kind of embarrassing. But Joey, is there anything?
Can we catch up a little bit on that board? Because I didn't see. I saw Scott commented. Nothing from you about Scott. Nothing.
He said that I sounded like a Leninist dude now.
You
Which
do.
probably I do. I haven't, look, I'm angry. I'm very angry at the left. I'm very angry at the culturally captured.
Really?
I try to be so, yeah. You know what? 2020.
I couldn't tell.
You're right. But, BTG, 2020 put a huge chip on my shoulder. And I saw the myopic and foolish behavior of both the way we handled the pandemic and the BLM protests that went right down my block. And I
remember that.
The things that the people were saying, the foolishness, and it was so fake. And the fake, I think a lot of frauds and fakers have a lot of control, particularly over the film industry. These people disgust me. And again, you're in a different part of the country.
Yes, it's very conservative here.
The place that I'm in, and the industry that I was in as well, that I go around, just became so like I wanted to. If I could kick these people in the groin, and some of them, I wish some of these females, I wish I could grow some testicles so I could stomp them. They angered me that much with their fake virtue. It disgusted me. And I'm still disgusted by these people. And maybe I shouldn't be. Joey, do you have any anger tips for me? Are you as angry with him as I am? Are you think
it depends on the night, but when you really get me going, it's both sides, Brian. It's both of you guys, all sides, all of you spectrum enders. All of you are on that a crazy spectrum.
I think Joey wants to stomp all testicles.
I'm in a rear.
Get your boots, Joey. Stomp those testes.
Yeah. Brian, you have to see the new-ish movie Maxine with 3 X's. There's a great testicle smashing scene in that movie. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Well, we are doing movies, and hopefully they'll have some testicle grabbing and perhaps even some butt hair grabbing. Joey, do you have anything to add before we call this show a day?
I have no butt hairs for anyone to grab, so suck it. That's all I got, Brian. That's it tonight. I accept Angela's dumb challenge. I will watch the DNCs and I will show you the proof of what lunacy comes from their mouths.
All right.
I want to give you 2 days to do that so you can gather your thoughts, your points. You know, I would love to hear about that.
Yeah, I'll be working a lot, but I'll listen to it.
More than 3 days, whenever the next day off is.
Yeah. Anything to add before I end this show?
Harris 2024. Please update your voter registration and vote for Harris.
Kamala. Okay, great. Well done.
Yeah. Kamala is a Marxist, and the leftists are abusive. A lot of them are unhinged lunatics, and they're not only dangerous to America.
Can I give Angela a challenge? I want you to listen to Theo Vaughn's interview with former President Trump. It's online, easy to find. Go! You can do it. Have you seen it?
No, I've had pneumonia.
I was sick too. Get over yourself. We're on the mend. Go. If you're challenging us, I'm challenging you. Go watch Theo Vaughn's interview with ex-President Trump. I think, and come up with the same. Come up with the same, suggestion for yourself that you're giving out.
Joey,
34 felonies. No problem.
Oh, give me a fucking break. Oh, jeez. These culturally captured juries, these people have become completely culturally captured. We are in a culture war in this country. These people cannot be reasoned with. The only thing that they understand is punishment. Angela, I'll give you a last word if you have any. But the only thing the far left understands is the language of punishment, because they try to do it to everybody else. It's about time.
I'll just say the only thing that doesn't shock me is it was 34, not 33 felonies.
2025 hopefully is a year of reciprocity to the left, that they suffer the same fates that they've given to other people, and they've done some very nasty, vile things, and they need to have it done to them in spades. They need to get a taste of their own medicine, double time, a double helping. Angela, do you have anything to add before I play us out in a song?
Sure do. I want to say that Brian is a kind, compassionate person, that he's going through a phase. It will not be like this forever. He will heal and move on.
Much like your Kamala phase or whatever you're in right now. I agree.
Let me just say, Angela, have you ever seen the movie The Oxbow Incident?
No.
Read the book?
No.
Okay. This is from the movie and the book, The Oxbow Incident. It's called The Ghostly Gallows, and it's about...
when was that movie made, Brian?
1943.
Wow, 1943.
Incident with Henry Fonda. And
I will watch that again.
Oh yeah, it's a good film. But I wrote a little song, and this is from Suno, and it's another song. It's not the song that I've played with you, but I kind of like it, so I'm going to end us out on that. It's about.
Thank you for calling in, Angela.
Yeah, thank you for calling in. I'm serious about that. But this is a story about the hanging of 3 innocent men.
Three men in the night, innocent souls lost in fright. No justice in the air, just anger in the snare.
This sounds like when I bit Gordon Lightfoot's testicles.
And cries unseen, underneath the moon's pale wheel gleam. Desperation.
It was Joe Jackson.
In shadows they went down. Swinging in the wind, ghosts of where they've been. 3 lives in sorrow spent in the Oxbow incident. Whispers in the trees, no solace, no peace. Echoes of the past.
Hey, did you redo this one? This is a good song.
Yeah.
It's much better.
It leaves an eerie stain. Memories of
Brian is creative, you know, JP. You could learn from him.
I won't thank him. No, I will not thank him. Stop it, Angela. Stop defending his behavior.
Yeah.
He is creative.
In the Oxbow incident.
Stay tuned for tomorrow when I present my song Angela as a Ham Bone.
Time won't heal the pain.
Kind of reminds me of James Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gordon Lightfoot, James Taylor, all that. Yeah, it's all there.
He sang on the Stephen Colbert show because he got bumped off of the DNC. It was a funny song. Oh, it was funny.
Brian, you've got a hit. If it was 1971.
I think it might be a hit today.
In the Oxbow incident.
All right, guys, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. If you think we suck, let us know. Boo-hoo-hoo.
And if you follow Kaka Kamala, let us know.